I love cookies. I love cookies. I love cookies. I love cookies.
Welcome to Cookies, the world's most influential basketball podcast. It is the season premiere, I guess. First pod of the year. In terms of perfection, the bar is pretty low for 2026. But for us, it's always very high. Andrew, how are you welcoming the new year?
I'm welcoming it with a ton of gusto, man. I'm making many trend forecasting predictions.
Oh.
I'm excited to be the first place you hear of what everyone is going to be doing in 2026.
Okay. I trust your taste. I also have a few sort of predictions for 2026. What I think is going to be popular, things that are cultural touchstones on the rise. So let's hear a couple of yours, and I'll share some of mine.
First, we'll start quick in the fashion world. I think the color teal is going to be in. Everyone's going to be dripped out in teal, not unlike Charlotte's Hornets, like starter jackets, but like you're going to see a wave of bluish green.
Oh, that's a good one. I think one thing I've noticed, I think podcast hosts or co-hosts are going to show their co-host, like their podcasting partner, more respect in 2026.
Wow. I want to say that shots fired, but I know you would never fire a shot at your podcasting co-host. So I'm going to say I definitely agree. Can I give you another one of mine?
Let's hear it.
I think printed magazines are back. Everyone is going to have Google's going to have a printed magazine. Your favorite restaurant is going to start making a printed magazine. We're going to be shelling out those $10 bills at newsstands like 1998.
Oh, I actually could see that happening, and I hope it does. So my next one is I think podcasters should come more prepared, with knowledge of the topics they're going to discuss. Before you start recording and you jump in, they should at least maybe use Google a little bit to be more informed.
Okay. That's interesting. I won't take that personally because I know you're just talking about the general idea of it. But my trend prediction is people are going to start pods about shit they don't know. They're just going to start popping off ideas and all these words about stuff. Not Google them, not read about them. Just be like, this is what I think jungle music is. And play jungle music for the first time. Be like, this stuff is fast.
This may feel a little 2025. But let's bring on a guest who does know what they're talking about. And let's see if it still works in the new year. So we are very pleased to welcome Vinson Cunningham, the staff writer and critic for The New Yorker. He is the co-host of Critics at Large. He is also the author of Great Expectations, signed copy right here in my hands.
Oh, you got yours signed?
It was signed by Vinson, but not by Vinson. I picked it up at a bookstore, and I was like, I'll buy the signed one, and it makes me feel like I saw him. And he also has a newsletter called Quiet Storm. Vinson Cunningham, welcome.
Hey, how you guys doing? This is the best. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's been a long time coming. We're desperate for these Knicks ideas, but first, we have to survey the land and make jokes about heavy subject.
Yeah, well,
everyday life.
Yeah, I mean, the New Year's just started. Quiet luxury is out. Venezuela in. Everyone's talking Venezuela.
I guess so.
Oh, my quarter zip. I got to take that quarter zip right off, man. Fresh out of the package. Damn. That was quick.
Well, you got to take not unlike Nicolas Maduro, you take the quarter zip off and put on the Nike Tech full suit.
They tried to tell us that Nike Tech was out, and then Maduro's out here mogging in the Nike Tech on our armed services, on our military. Advantage Maduro and Nike Tech.
Yeah.
I went to a kid's birthday party this weekend, and there was a very steep slide available to slide on, and all the kids were wearing their winter stuff, and it was all technologically advanced, and they were shooting off this slide, like injuring themselves, crying. There was tears everywhere. I was like, thanks, Venezuela. Thanks for
A
nothing.
lot of their fault. I do think that I don't know. Everybody in my life was like uncharacteristically worked up about it. Like I feel like there's like lots of um, Trump doing things has become a genre of like it sort of like passes through the smooth brain of the sort of average creative professional. Not so this time. It was like I went to a kind of impromptu party last night, and it was the the dinner party topic du jour. It was um, it's gone big.
You're saying this might have legs.
The whole kidnapping a foreign leader thing, it turns out a big deal.
I mean, he's done so many bad things, right? And it's hard to top himself. But it seems like he's pretty successful at doing it. I feel incredibly desensitized. Like if
Yeah.
he went to Madison Square Garden and like physically removed Jalen Brunson from the court, I'd be like, do I have Trump derangement syndrome or is this fucked up? You know, like removing a sovereign nation's leader is insanity.
I'm just feeling nostalgic. It takes us back to G-Dub, the oil, the invasion, the justifications throughout the media. I'm like, this is all so familiar. I swear we have done this 20 some years ago, but that's just the fashion cycle we live in.
It was even more than the thing itself. Watching CNN was the big flashback. Like people who, in every other particular, are like very Trump skeptical, et cetera, et cetera. All of a sudden, had like, well, there were lots of equivocations. It was a weird day to watch a lot of cable news, which is what I kind of did upon hearing this news.
Is there any zagging here? Is there any opportunity at a dinner party to be like, but like, is there space?
I mean, listen. I mean, Maduro's a what I mean in the local parlance you might call a bad hombre. Like there's lots of material for the zag. It's just that I don't know. It's like, are you brave enough to do it?
You know who's brave enough? It's like, say, Hakeem Jeffries, for example, or Chuck Schumer. That they hit you with that he was a bad man, very bad man, but then they zigzag and say the process was wrong. Why wasn't Congress allowed to approve this, which we would have done?
Which we would have definitely done. We
wanted our say to do this because we like it. We like it. We think it's an awesome thing. And we were kind of cut out of the ice cream social element.
I just wanted my drop at the beginning of the beat. I just wanted to say hitmaker before you went ahead and put your verse on it, Trump.
I mean, there were so many admissions, right? Like down to Rubio just being like, listen, we just want the oil. You guys are arguing about stuff. It's like, we want the oil. And then there's Chuck Schumer being like, we do this stuff all the time. I just want to know about it before it happens so I can prepare, like this is commonplace. So it is yet again another reveal into like the mechanics of how our world works that is disheartening.
Yeah, it's I'm with Vincent though. I think if we had gotten another Chuck Schumer production at the beginning, or just like maybe a British accent, like Hakeem Jeffries, baby, or something, like a Maybach music style thing, we could have really had bipartisan support here.
Or there's also the method where Trump is on the track, but he's like saying like, Jeffries, you crazy man, you did it with this one. Jeffries, boy. But he's saving that. Yeah. I think he's saving those drops for Mamdani, his true, like the true Kanye to his Jay-Z.
Yeah, I saw someone being like, well, what can Mamdani do about this? And he went on social media. He's like, I called Trump directly. I told him, it's like, as mayor, can you throw a monkey wrench into this? Can you head out to Sunset Park and do something?
Well, what could you do? You could bar the entry to all of our to whatever jail, the Metropolitan, the very famous one where they keep, you know, Diddy, Luigi, all the big guys.
All
He
that.
could say he's not allowed there. The only place you can take him is to like the middle of Greenwood Cemetery. I will meet you there and receive him myself. Um, but it does seem like Trump loves to take that guy's call. So maybe if anybody could do it, it would be the new Riz Mayor, Mamdani.
Yeah, that center you're talking about, I think it's called MDC. That's
Oh yes,
in
yes.
Sunset Park, often confused with the Nets practice facility. They're right out there in the same vicinity.
They
One
are.
of them has Michael
two-
Porter Jr., and it's not the Nets facility.
We're
Yeah,
talking about two jails here. You know, it's just
two
like,
jails. Yeah,
are you allowed to leave any of these places with your free
it's
will?
it's Maduro just like commiserating with Cam Thomas about like missed scoring opportunities.
Just give me a
Like
chance.
neither of them is allowed to cook as much as they want to.
I mean,
Well, I was going to say, sorry to cut you off. I was going to say with the Venezuela thing, but like, what's the next shoe to drop here? Is it the full Monroe doctrine, but it's turned into Trumpism? Is it Colombia? Is it Greenland? I mean, once this door has been opened, which we've opened many, many times, like kind of like once this revolving door has begun swinging again, let's put it that way, with our, you know, say chicanery in Latin America and South America, you know, our antics down there.
Tricksterism, yeah.
Yeah, you know, our goofing
I
around.
I mean, there is. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
No, I was just gonna say like Marco Rubio seems like, as usual, like dead set on making everything in this about Cuba. Like in the press conference, he was like, "Well, you know who funds, you know who's actually taken over Venezuela is Cuba." So I think he's like trying to take us even further back in sort of 1990s geopolitics and turn this into sort of a Cuba related incident. So that's another like little bit of like, you know, Bugs Bunny style zippity doodah that we could do if we wanted to.
Like,
I just want to return to pre-revolution Havana, where it was
Mhm.
infested with spies and prostitution and nightlife. Like that seems like what we're missing right now. The game is
Also,
missing
a lot of dancing,
pre-revolution.
cool cars. Yeah.
Cool cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Godfather
like,
2. Come on.
Me and Ben always talked about this edge that people walk in like a cooperative environment, and like even in the NBA, it's like you're not going to lose games on purpose, right? Like you wouldn't do that. We know it's profitable, but no one's going to actually lose games on purpose. And in the world politics, I feel like the Trump administration is walking the same line, being like, you guys aren't just going to take over a country, right? Like you can do that, but you can't really do that. And I think he's playing into maybe our country's like lack of focus on South America. Like we talk about so much about European politics, even Russian politics, and it's just like the world is small, but the world is big, and the ranking Trump's badness is crazy. Like it's hard to rank the top 10 players in the NBA currently, but ranking the shit he's done is wild because, you know, Ben just, you were like, what's next? I'm like, I don't know. He's like deporting citizens. Like he's yanking them from their cars and like doing stuff. Like, I don't know what's next. Like protect Jalen Brunson on that hardwood, man.
Well, this episode would be like in that, you know, top 10 ranking. This is like the Jalen Brunson of Trump misdeeds. Like very good. Sometimes a little bit overrated, but very good though. And like, you know, like
that.
you know, the sort of the Tyrese Maxey is another name that wafts to mind. Like we're in the Maxey verse.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think about like what Trump has done domestically and internationally as the anti-war president, the peace president specifically. It's like, I'm so glad we don't have a war president because we'd be seeing all types of violence, international chaos. Thankfully, the peace president is who we have right now.
Yeah, no, he's been so super peaceful. It's like it's unremarkable.
Like, war is peace, man. It's like stop when the bully's like stop hitting yourself. It's like Like you
Well,
made me.
that's right. Like I've always wondered, like, what if instead of war, we just like went places and got people? That's been a thing that I've wondered. Just like, what if we just like offered a gentleman a nice, cozy Nike Tech outfit, and like gave him some earmuffs and one of those honk shoe like sleep masks, and put him on a boat and brought him to New York? That's not war. That's something else. I don't know what it is, but it's like that's
It's a
peace.
Christopher Nolan movie.
Just three hots and a cot. Classic benevolence.
Yeah, you and your wife, we're offering you a cruise. I don't know.
I mean, we've all worked at various times within like legacy media. There was the report that I think the New York Times and Washington Post were given a heads up, presumably if the story is true, by someone leaking this information, hoping to prevent it from occurring. And I mean, presumably someone was like, hey, they're going to do this. Can you report it so it doesn't happen? And they're like, actually, no, we're going to not report it. We're going to hold on to this. We're going to let it occur. We're even going to put out some stories that seem to be wondering whether this is occurring or not, which is to me is a little.
Whether it would happen. Yeah.
I don't know. There's some strange reports. And then they said, well, we did this to keep the troops safe. So how do we feel about this as media gurus?
It's like I've never understood it. I guess it makes some sense. It depends on where the troops are. Have the troops already procured the Nike Tech? Like how far into it are they? But it does seem to cut against everything the media's been saying about itself vis-a-vis Trump, and also like I don't know, like I just wonder if Barry Weiss's CBS would have told it like absolute unvarnished. If it had been them that got the drop first, whether she would have rushed to the cameras and told the nation, without fear or favor, the truth about what was going to happen. But I don't know. I guess probably not.
I mean, I think
Go ahead.
The idea that their hesitation to report it was out of concern for the noble men and women of the armed services doesn't strike me as genuine. It seems more that would be your rationale that you would publicly say when you've just collaborated on an illegal crime and let it occur.
Are we giving the media too much credit here? Because every journalist has their own constitution, and I think there's an obligation to any job. But there could be elements of safety, national security. There could be elements of like what our duties are in our lives, and like to this happened with the first time Trump got elected. It was like New York Times. There's reporters. There's people who made this happen. I'm like, this is part of the misdirection that I think benefits someone like Trump who does stuff, and it's just like, well, why don't you guys stop it? It's like, well, what do you mean? We're reporters. It's like, well, you guys have a responsibility to stop me from doing this stuff. I'm like, in what world is that a mechanism that is illogical?
Yeah. It also just it just makes me feel bad for whoever did the leaking. That's the only person, the only person besides Maduro who's going to potentially suffer a consequence from this is like the schmuck that was like, Maggie Haberman, please help me. It's like, I don't know. It sucks. Like that seems like a very precarious position to be in. I'm sure they've already identified who that was.
It was. I would suspect it was done. If all this is true, was done to say, let's prevent this from occurring because this is a breach of international law. And the New York Times is like, not only are we not going to help you on this, we're going to snitch on you.
We're going
to tell everyone that we had this information. We're not even just going to hold it in order to let this operation unfold in which 40 Venezuelan people at least were killed. We're going to say we did it out of patriotism. And then we're going to tell them how to find this rat that's over there in the Trumpian nest.
Yeah.
No
This
snitches.
rat.
We don't like sources on this side.
This rat, this Donovan Snitchell and Ben is reason why both of you are not going to be trillionaires, because you could have logged on to Poly Market, put all your life savings down, and flipped a quick 400K like Barron Trump, NYU. Like,
Boom.
this is why you're not going to be rich. This is why you will never be a part of the ruling class, man.
Yeah.
Joe Kahn caked up off that information yesterday.
$400,000, and people are like, "Yo, Trump doesn't need $400,000." I'm like, everyone needs $400,000, man. That's a lot of McDonald's.
What really, like, the deciding factor on like whether you like register this is like whether you're about that paper or not. And and Trump is about that paper. By the way, journalism is snitching. Have you guys seen Pablo Torre's appearance on the Joe Budden podcast? Where the whole
well, it was behind the paywall, so we did not see it. But respect to Pablo and Joe Budden, pump it up. But I did not see it because of the paywall.
Well, I did fucking pay. And let me tell you, the whole text of the questioning was, that's interesting what you're saying about Steve Ballmer. Really nice reporting. But is this snitching? The whole thing was whether Pablo is snitching. It's like, but is it hurting you, and therefore why are you snitching? Is Pablo Torre a rat?
I hate to be that.
Are you dry snitching on Kawhi and his uncle?
Yeah. We were dining on dry pot at the restaurant right after he did that interview, so he was about it. Sorry, I'm late. I just came from New Jersey. I was at Joe Budden's house. We're like, excuse us, but
that's incredible.
It is. He gets a lot of that. Shout out to Pablo Torre. He gets a lot of that criticism on social media, right? Especially from Clippers fans immediately, who were like, "You're just a snitch. What is your function in life except to cause misery?" And I'm like, I must be incredibly older than I think, because I remember a different role or a different mask of a journalist. And but I guess it's been true the whole time. Famously, Cameron talking about it, I believe, on 60 Minutes. A very strange segment, but very poignant to us as fans of everything that man does. But it's like, as you know, Vincent, I know you have a small kid and I live with small children. It's hard to talk to them about what snitching is. And I want them to tell me everything, what goes on in their day, so I can help them. Yes. And a part of me is like, stop snitching. It's like, let your mom do whatever the hell she wants, man. I don't got to know about this.
Yeah, don't snitch. Yeah. It's like, is it just to get well, the deeper thing is like, what is the common good? Like, I would like to stop an illegal incursion into another sovereign nation and halt a kidnapping. I would not only like to air out a personal grievance, but this bully's flouting of the rules affects us all. It's like a high abstraction that, it helps to deal with. But if you're just telling me so that I can get this other person in trouble, you little kids should in fact stop snitching.
But I mean, personally, I think that the world is better served by me not going to jail. So squealing on someone else and sending them to prison is in the interest of the community, the greater good. I think my freedom is a larger net positive than their freedom.
And
that's the argument you could make. Yeah.
We have to talk about the pandemic, right? Where we kind of got tweaked and lost our minds a little bit and took interest in stuff, I think, that was very productive in society, and then it changed our brains, right? And I think when a reporter reports a story and there's justice, because I think injustice is a very visceral feeling that everyone can understand. But when SGA sells a foul, I'm like, this is not snitching. This is gamesmanship. And that is a really blurry line to draw, right? I think there's certainly media platforms and reporters who are ambulance chasers, who are snitches, who hear about something that is titillating and turn it into something that it might not be. I don't think it helps their small spheres or
Hmm.
society or anything. It is a way to make money. It's an economy. But on the other hand, if you're trying to leak information about a heinous act like removing a sovereign nation's leader, I don't think that's snitching.
That's not snitching. I think that's fair. Did you guys hear that story about Anthony Edwards? Like, had to change his foul shot motion because there was a reporter, I think it was a local reporter, who just like noted that literally every time he shoots a foul shot, his foot, like at the end of the motion, his foot goes over the line, and like said it on national TV. And he's like, I had to change my foul shot because of this snitch. And it's like, you know what? Fair enough. That's snitching.
I
I
mean,
don't know if you guys are old enough to remember Tim McCarver calling Yankees games because he would question the managerial decisions and be right a lot, and they removed him from the telecast because the owners were like, he can't be making us look bad. But Tim McCarver's like, I don't know why Danny Tartabull is in versus a lefty, and he would strike out, and it would happen so much. And Tim McCarver was such a wonderful speaker, but like, it was that snitching or was that analysis?
What if analysis is snitching? No, that's the problem.
Yeah,
Like that's where that's
use
what the
words.
problem is.
I've often said that we need re-education camps for motorists. We
Uh
need
huh.
to reteach people that you pass on the left and then you get over to the right. And I think
Hmm.
that will clear up a lot of the issues that our nation has. Just our motorists behaving better, a little more Canadianly on the road. But
Hmm.
that kind of collectivism would be helpful. Learn to pass and then move over. Pass and cut, so to speak, on a basketball podcast.
Hmm.
But it's
Re-education camps for snitching might be a good idea as well. Like there is journalism, there is snitching, and there's a difference between the noble efforts of cookies hoops in
mhm.
exposing burner accounts and say
It's
lipstick
a
alley.
regular size collar. Is because like sports is so frivolous. Are all sports reporters snitches? Are all critics of film, movies, music, art? Are they snitches?
Right.
Because the only valor is in the loss of life in politics, right? That's
This
the only
fucking rat exposed a plot hole in my movie.
He's such a rat.
yeah. No spoilers,
That
but
Ebert
spoilers.
snitch.
This motherfucker's pressing pause on my compositions. The cinematographer got snitched on in the pages of the Washington Post.
I got frog walked for having continuity errors.
Yelp,
Yeah.
Snitcher's delight, right? It's like, ooh, the
Yeah.
portions, the
Tell an
portion too
ass critic.
small. Yeah. But right, like, is exposing Kawhi Leonard's contract details beneficial to a greater good? I think so, but I'm not a Steve Ballmer fan. I'm not a billionaire fan, and I'm not a LA Clippers fan. So the subjectivity rings loudly in my mind. But yo, if Brunson started like
Hmm.
Brun, what JB2 LLC, if that existed and he got a little extra money, sure. What I survived Jerome James, I can survive Jalen Brunson getting hand slapped.
I
Yeah.
mean, I think for the NBA though, they're the ones who set these baroque rules in place. So when they break them, because they're instituted to keep basketball players from earning as much money as they possibly could, and it is an ecosystem of economics that the owners have essentially installed. So when they're breaking it, I feel like that's fair play. Just on this specific topic. Like
Yeah.
this is exposing the fraudulence of your own system that you have put in place in order to prevent Ben Simmons from making $50 million a year.
And that's what Trump is saying, right? It's just like, I don't respect your nation's rules. I know you had an election. What does that matter to me? I'm Donald Trump.
No matter. Yeah.
I don't know if it's that
You had it,
nation's
but I
more the
didn't like it though.
more the rules of the globe.
I mean,
Yeah.
breaking the rules of the globe, right, is like the rules of the globe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean we've seen a couple of years of pretty unvarnished piggery from the powers that be. That's why I'm like, well, what is next on this? Like, are we just gonna do the Nick Fuentes graphic of Greenland, Mexico, it's all the United States?
Yeah.
Is there an end game to this, or do we just want the oil and we're just humble fuel heads?
Stephen Miller's wife, who is a podcaster and therefore a snitch, did post did post a graphic of Greenland, but like just full of the United States flag. So
Yeah.
that's like to your point. Like I think that there is I guess this like sort of expansionary mania has been a big part of Trump too. Like with the so I mean, who knows? The Colombian president Gustavo Petro was very forceful about Trump and saying like he's just a pedophile who wants to distract from that. So I think he's learning the lesson that there's nothing that these people can do necessarily to escape these like illogical charges and like illegal action. So we'll see.
Yeah, and you see the response from UK, Germany, France. They're like, thumbs up, just 2 thumbs up on this. This is great. Full support. I'm like,
Yeah.
the veneer is really gone. There's no sort of world order that's even protected in like the vaguest sense anymore.
Yeah, as long as it's a continent that nobody cares about, that guy Greg Grandin, the great historian, wrote this book America, America, and it's about the sort of parallel histories of North and South America, and it's really like prophetic about what is happening right now. But I mean, maybe people will remember that Latin America is a thing and with real people in it. Maybe that'll be the upshot of this, like because I don't know, my boy Kier, my boy Emmanuel Macron, these guys, they don't care at all. They're like, Venezuela, never heard of it. Do what you want.
Well, and your contemporary wrote that fantastic book about the history of U.S. imperialism in, I think, Mexico, Central America, South America as well. Blitzer.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
friend
I
of the
mean,
pod. Come on.
Yeah.
John Blitzer, our dude.
Another great NBA head, and definitionally, by dint of his profession, another great snitch. Yes, I love the
The
guy.
games with him. Yeah.
He's
Shout out.
wonderful.
Yo, does the US have squatters' rights on Greenland? Like, what if they're not using it good? Like, man, we can do so many great things. There's so many Mar-a-Lagos that can go on this giant island. Like, hey, you guys weren't using it. We're saying we're not moving anywhere.
I think that is literally the rationale. Like Mar-a-Lago's per capita, divided by you know current usage. I think that is the chart that they sent upon making their initial argument.
Those are like the Trump crypto Mar-a-Lago shares per 48.
Yeah, exactly.
I always like the Canada concept because it would inadvertently make Canada like the biggest, most populous and powerful state in America, which would just be so self-defeating if you were Donald Trump. Like, we did it. We brought in Canada, the 51st state, which is now the new California. We all bow down to our thoroughly democratic country that is swayed in every direction by the Great White North.
The great American basketball player, R.J. Barrett. Is that what you're saying? R.J. Barrett.
We've been avoiding this on our pod that Toronto has way more good basketball players than New York City, and it's just going to have to be acknowledged.
And rappers? I mean,
It's rough, but it's like a good way to say it is like that Toronto is a big flatbush, right? That like it's full of Caribbean culture and honestly like demented slang, and therefore like there are benefits, athletic, cultural, musical, to that melange, and I can get behind that.
Yeah, I don't really view Toronto as Canada entirely. It is anomalous. The Crody population there makes it more of a North American city versus similarity with Winnipeg or Manitoba or something of that ilk. But I do think there is an advantage to having a city that is somewhat demographically similar to the United States with socialized medicine and better education. And lo and behold, a basketball hotbed.
Yeah, it's really bubbling up. I'm happy for them. I mean, ever since they lost Kawhi, I feel like there's been a sort of underdog mentality, at least to the sort of fandom. But their supremacy is it's hard to ignore. Although I'm not worried about them in the next Olympics, though. I still think.
Whoa,
I
are you
think. I think.
sure?
SGA is great, but I'm more worried about France than I am about Canada next Olympics.
Can we get
That
behind
nation.
the Jamaican national team, though?
Why? Who's playing for Jamaica?
Well, Norm Powell was one of the main guys who jumped on it. But if everyone who is conceivably allowed to play gets in there, you've got Beef Stew, you've got the Thompson twins, and there's a couple other players where they might legitimately have like 8 NBA players.
That could be cool.
That's
I mean,
a lot.
they once had a bobsled team, and like the Cool Runnings 2 hoops version would be cool.
I would watch any team with both Thompson twins and Beef Stew. It's like the Pistons plus. It's great.
Seeing the Thompson twins together at this point would be a fucking thrill, right? Like, and that only happens in international play.
I don't think I was aware that the Thompson twins were Jamaican. That is kind of blowing my mind right now. That's a great credit to their civilization. Those guys are incredible.
They're dogs. Oh my gosh. Before we get into basketball, I kind of wanted to talk about the various other misbehaviors. And I'm talking about Wegmans, the supermarket chain. Did you guys hear about this shit?
Yeah.
They're doing like AI face recognition just willy-nilly on anyone who walks in those doors.
It's been a tough couple days for the Rochester community, knowing that Wegmans is collecting biometric information on its customers in New York City. Then RXK nephew cuts off his dreads. I mean, like we are down bad as a community right now, and we've had basically like 6 feet of snow. It is tough times in Western New York.
I'm constantly getting alerts on my Instagram. I set them to on. It's like, you have an alert from Instagram. I'm like, cool. Did Vincent DM me? No, RX nephew just started a live a live session. I'm like, oh my god, this guy nonstop. So he cut off his dreads. Very cool.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but Rochester, as the birthplace of Wegmans, from what I know, has not done this same measure of collecting biometric data. Is it just the deft hands of the New York City shoplifter? Is that all this is about?
It can't be, right? I mean, that's what they'll say, but it can't be. Did you guys know that these for the listeners in New York, we have these big things, these big sort of obelisks in the middle of the sidewalk, these NYC link things, where they it's a big screen and it dispenses information, but you can also like charge your phone with it. I learned yesterday that these things also, if you stand in front of it, it's got a camera that is like biometrically profiling you, like stealing the irises on your eyes or whatever, it's a mania for biodata. And I don't know, I just like hope that they treat my clone really nice and that my groceries were worth it. It's really scary.
I just want my clone to live a better life than
I feel like that's happened while flying too, where I don't really know when I agreed that they could just use a camera and wave me through, and I'm like, okay, I guess this is all right. But at some point, I opted in without knowing to a system where I don't even really show a passport at this point. You just
stand in front of the camera.
And like, you don't have to do this, and these will be destroyed. Like, oh, I'm sure, absolutely, they will be wiped clean in 3 days, no doubt about that.
And there's this loose guise of safety, right? At MSG, it's to keep people safe. At the airport, it's to keep people safe from blowing up. On the streets, it's to keep you safe from getting stabbed. But a Wegmans, are they like, is this the great garbage plate misdirection? Like, we're just shopping for vegetables and food. Like, Obviously, to Vincent's point, this is not about safety. This is about data grabs, right? And how profitable this information will be in the future because we're not sure of it now. But to get it is the game currently.
Right. I think there's two parts of it. One of it may just be that the more they go towards automated checkouts, the more they become
There's no way
concerned
that.
with
But yeah,
people just like walking out with stuff. And I guess Whole Foods does this. I don't know this is a fact. Someone said this, that they keep biometric data so that once your shoplifting hits above a certain threshold, then they can charge you with grand larceny. That was
They
the
can just nab
theory.
you. Yeah. I
That
think
they say,
Target does
okay,
a similar thing. Yeah.
we're gonna let you shoplift until you hit
Walmart does that
a certain place.
so they can prosecute. Right.
Cookies Hoop Store does this as well. You know, that if you go on and you buy a couple T-shirts, we're just
Stop
collecting all this
snitching,
biometric.
dude.
You're snitching.
I'm a
Dude.
journalist.
Robinson.
I'm
Right.
exposing truth to power.
You and
Finally.
Andrew are doing crimes together, and you are telling first. Like, that's just the definition. But anyway.
Yeah, I'm punching up, Andrew.
Holding power to task. But like Wegman's doing this. Is this a business killer for Wegmans, or does this not matter anymore? Are we so desensitized that our president telling us to inject sunshine is just like glossed over? It's like whatever. I just want my garbage. I want my white hots.
I think it is one of those things. Data collection, undue incursions into privacy. I do think that it's like one of these things that there's a real nihilism about. People say, like, I think a lot of people give the rationale, I've already given them everything.
Yeah.
Who cares? You know, like what difference does it mean if they also know like the pH levels of my skin and the look of my irises or whatever? Like, who cares? They know it anyway. And while that may be true, I do think like there's a, you know, we could say enough. You know, there was a really successful boycott of Target recently, not for this, for being racist, but I'm just saying like there is there we have proofs of concept of like we could all say like we don't like this, we don't want to go anymore. But I feel like those moments are kind of few and far between.
Yeah, there was I think it was Whitney Webb who's written a lot of sort of conspiratorial books about Epstein, and she's like, the reason that there is more information coming out about this is because they are pretty confident, like the powers that be, that they've got you, and the only thing you can really do is hold out on giving all your biometrics up. That's sort of the last thing remaining that we're hanging on to. So like, be hesitant about, as you said, just sort of acquiescing out of helplessness. And I think that's true. Like, we don't need to be subjected to bioharvesting when we go in and buy potatoes. Like, that's like, fuck off. Like, no. How about no?
Burger patties on fries. But I think a benevolent, optimistic, kind person would say like this is helpful for healthcare. This is helpful to help people eat better, live longer lives. The more information we have, like in basketball, the more chances we have to win a game. But as we know, everything is about money and profitability and people who are in power to get this money before someone else exactly like them gets it. And we're seeing this kind of on Twitter, right? It's like, in theory, Grok is a helpful device. Like I don't think all artificial intelligence, which is a broad spectrum of a topic, but this specific question and answer thing is a necessarily evil thing at the start. And then you get Elon Musk kind of subjectivity and desires and aspirations in the DNA of this thing without a DNA. And all of a sudden, it's like catering to subjective accounts, being like, well, we thought this account would enjoy this, so we're going to skew it there. It's like, oh, you guys want to see this perfectly normal person without their clothes? We'll show it to you because we need you to use this thing because we want to make money.
Not because this deep fake of an innocent person is going to like, cure cancer, just because, we think you deserve it. First of all, we think you deserve it. Why would we hide it from you? It's out there. And also, please use our next whatever. Please get a blue check mark.
Yeah.
Well, this is also kind of, I think both of you have nailed it. all of these are ostensibly for safety or are for our benefit. Every time it's like, well, Wegman's, hey, we're going to collect all your biological data. And that way, when you come in, we can show you, what sort of products would be great for you to buy. And that's really great for you. And maybe we'll even give you discounts. Like, oh, Andrew, you've come in. We know it's Andrew Kuo. We've got all of his data. This guy, he likes making mapo tofu, staring into the mapo mirror. So we're going to guide him directly over to the white pepper. And he can get 50% off of that. Like, this is the gift that we are giving to you in exchange for knowing, yes, as you said, the pH level of your blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, you seem to be an African American gentleman. I mean, I don't know. We got some chicken necks over here and some gravy makings over there. I don't know. I mean, it just seems like I know a lot of people like you, and it seems like they always go to this part of the, and we want to help you guys.
Like, would you like 25% off a subscription to Jet Magazine, perhaps?
That's it. We have headphones here, and when you put them on, Stevie Wonder plays, and it's for you because of who you are. We've got Just the Thing. That should be the logo for this program. We got Just the Thing for you. We know, and we've got Just the Thing.
Yeah, it just? Sorry, Andrew. I was going to say, is it just recreating the idea of like digital cookies, but for your own body?
Whoa. I like the first Bobby Digital album. The second one was kind of disappointing, but huge fan of the first one. Is our biometric data in our behavior online and in real life, is that discoverable, or is that just ether? Is this a natural resource at this point, right? It's like, would this be information that was gathered regardless of the bad intentions of these actors, right? Because at some point, someone's going to notice deflections matter in the NBA. And at some point, someone's going to be like, you guys really love this grab and go sushi. Like, we're selling a ton of it. So it's like, well, how dare you track how much sushi I eat? It's like, but it's gone. Like, you're buying it, so we have to make more of it. Am I being a little too optimistic about the way capitalism works?
Yes.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's like it's going to offer you some nice benefits at the beginning, and then it's going to turn those toward the like absolute darkest purposes. It's like all you have to do is imagine a 14-year-old boy using it, and then it's like, oh wait, he's going to talk to this chatbot, and it's going to tell him all kinds of things to either make him stay in his room all the time or kill himself, and then Wegmans is going to like send him like your final meal because they know what they want that to be. It's just like when you like just think about the most vulnerable person you can think of. It's like, oh no, it's bad.
My son has been sent to live in a gulag in Greenland by the Wegmans chatbot. And just as I predicted.
Mar-a-Lago, Greenland, number 15. But yeah, it goes right to like, hey, I think we can repeal Roe v. Wade. This is the time. I have the data right here. Like, we can take the rights away from our population. Like, I think we should chance it. We have all this data. And, it's the harvesting of this stuff is not benign. And it is probably something that on the surface would be like, oh, things are more expensive. It's snowing, so shovel prices went up, and someone knows that I buy shovels because I keep on losing them. Right till the point of being like, we're going to take away options for your healthcare.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say, right. The natural progression of that is Andrew keeps losing his shovels. We also think that there's going to be a lot of snowfall over the next few months. So I think we should actually anticipate he will probably have a heart attack shoveling at sometime soon. So we should probably jack up his insurance rates to account for the fact that he's shoveling snow from February till March, and the Farmer's Almanac is hitting us with that real frigid forecast.
Yeah.
White pepper.
And then there's and then there's like the minority report angle of like, and we should also think about framing him for a shovel related crime. Why does he need all these shovels? What's
Right.
up with Andrew and all these shovels? And the questions can start to be asked in a very accusatory way, real quick.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Mr.
Andrew,
Stowe, we
seriously.
wrote this into your the details in the fine print that we're not responsible for shovel injury, so you're on your own.
On your own.
We see that Andrew's purchased several pairs of gloves, several shovels, some plastic bags, a huge thing of lye. I think Andrew is probably committing multiple homicides in this neighborhood.
Let's
Can I
start
guys
digging
ask,
up Andrew's backyard.
I'm sorry I
can I ask
snitched on
you
you,
guys
Andrew. That's on me.
a quick aside? I have a question for you guys. So, I am a teacher's
Uh-huh.
pet by nature.
Mhm.
So, whenever it snowed twice this week, I shovel the sidewalk for both my neighbors to the right and left of me.
So sweet.
How far should I go? I'm a teacher's pet. Like I want to do something nice for my neighbors, but I also like feeling like extra credit. How far does I go? Do I go 2 doors down on each side?
Mm. What you don't want is teacher's pet creep.
This is my point. Right.
You don't, because there's always another, like there's a, soon you'll be like going around the corner, and that's unacceptable. I think the best teacher's pet values quality over quantity. So you just got to shovel the shit out of these two lots that are already above and beyond, and and enjoy the like sort of deeper pleasures of a job well done, as opposed to a rush teacher's pet, a mania for praise. It sounds like.
Well, 10 doors down is my block president who is probably like in her 80s. Do I go down there and shovel the snow from her walkway?
Can you get a snowblower? Just take this full upstate, because then you can just run the whole block. Like you can take it over like Marlowe. It's just quo season.
This is a form of snitching. This is not like quite reverse snitching, but there is a psychology there that is a Venn diagram, right? That crosses over.
Well, snitches love to like um, sort of insinuate themselves into other people's space and therefore gather information. Like, because then you're like, oh, whose curb is a little bit broken. Like now you know information that can be later used for the actual snitching. So it's true.
I can
And
see
the
that.
teacher's pet, a traditional schoolroom snitch.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm saying, dudes,
The pet to snitch
found the snitch.
pipeline.
Dudes, I found the snitch. I think it's me.
The snitch within.
Yeah. But yeah, someone stole my shovel, and I was really, really annoyed because I had been a little too optimistic and left my shovel out between snowfalls, and it was gone.
Mm.
And I only noticed it when it fell again.
Yeah, you can't do it because that is a money making tool. If you are
Yeah.
someone who's down on your luck and you see a shovel and there's some snow coming, you can make some money. You can knock on doors. You can do some shoveling, and granted there aren't driveways, but that was absolutely, like growing up in Rochester, a thing. It was like the guys who didn't have a lot of money would come knocking on the door, like, driveway.
Yeah.
Would you like the
Yep.
sidewalk cleared? Because we did it when I was a kid. Like we knew who would pay you $10 to do it, and we just like run down there twice a day when it was snowing heavily. And like, I think we can double up today. We'll show up at 5 p.m. We'll get a second shovel in.
I haven't seen a lot of that, like Dennis the Menace style hustling in Brooklyn. But it makes total sense. Like if a neighborhood rapscallion showed up at my door, I would in fact pay him to shovel this. At least the steps are the real big thing around where I am. The steps.
I had
Like,
a couple.
whose shovel is that?
That's my shovel. If you guys see a shovel, it's mine.
It's red. It's a red one with a wooden handle.
They say the first 48 hours is crucial to find this shovel. But I was shoveling, and it's like a lovely, Vincent. You know where I live. It's like
Great
it's like
plot.
a very beautiful stretch of a street, and I have a neighbor who comes down who loves to talk to me about John Morant and Jalen Brunson. And this time, a couple of guys came up and were like, us doing what you guys are talking about, being like, oh, does anyone need their sidewalk shoveled? But behind, not Dennis the Menace, like, I'm gonna be a businessman. It was behind fear. They were like, hey, if you don't shovel this, someone might slip and you're gonna get sued. And I'm like, oh damn, Mamdani, save
Yeah.
us.
And the next sentence is like, and that person might be me. So if you know what's good for you, be
I'd
ashamed
hate
to
to
lose
see
this
a snowball fight break out around here.
You'd hate to see a snowball right in the eye, man.
Yeah.
Hate to see it.
Slowly pounding the ball into an orb as the hands are hitting together.
You can do this the easy way or the hard way.
I'm like too bundled up. I slip and fall and I can't get up because I got like 7 layers on.
I'm suing myself as they run off.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like Good Samaritan, but really fueled by fear of punishment.
Yeah.
It's our wonderful city.
I think you can go the 80-year-old block association president. You could do that. You could do that.
Oh
I
my
like
God.
that. I like that idea. I say next door neighbors, adjacent ones, great, and then just go to the 80-year-old, butter her up.
Yeah.
She's so great. She'll knock on our door and leave like zucchinis and
That's so
presents
sweet.
for my kid. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, she's paying it forward for all this shoveling.
Oh, I got some shoveling to do. Trust me. Gotta buy some salt. Are we ready to talk hoops? I know this is kind of I'm itching for some Vinson Cunningham.
We can
Knicks.
get there.
We
can get there.
need this.
Yeah.
You guys have been tiptoeing around Jalen Brunson talk. To me, that's the Eastern Conference Player of the Month. I mean, I know you guys are Jaylen Brown guys. To me, it's Brunson. But
Don't you
the
ever
Knicks
call
are
me that.
struggling.
How
I apologize. But the
Jaylen
Knicks are
Brown.
struggling. The Knicks
Yeah.
are struggling.
First things first. Do we want to talk about Eastern Conference of the Month or your quote unquote Knicks struggling? Look at you.
Let's just talk about the Knicks struggling. What's going on? The wheels have come off this Knicks big orange and blue machine.
This is poorly timed, by the way. This podcast, the Knicks just lost to the Sixers.
There's a reason why he's doing
to
this.
Dietrich Sixers. It's we're a bad matchup against you. You know, we cannot guard fast guards due to stuff it doesn't matter. And you've got some great people that fit that description. And I don't know. Let's talk about Player of the Month first. Yeah.
Okay, great. Done.
These
Jalen
rascals,
Brunson.
these rascals from Boston doing that same fucking thing they always do. It's like, oh, Jason Tatum, is he a top 5 MVP candidate? We're like, no, he's not top 10 good at anything. And then it's like, well, while you guys are talking about that, we're gonna make Jaylen Brown All NBA a couple times, All Star, and we're like, wait, he's a replacement level player. Tatum goes down, get better soon, Tatum. The league is better with him. But then Jaylen Brown gets his shots. Every rational podcast snitch would say, well, he's going to score a ton of points, be the same kind of effectiveness, but like, yeah, we're going to celebrate him as like a pretty good player who gets all the shots now. Now it's like, is he a top 5 NBA candidate? I'm like, dude, if we're doing that, we got to revisit his old stats. We got to talk about Tatum. We got to talk about system. We got to talk about
I think you could make an argument that Brown and Tatum, who are both good players, are probably the 2 most over-credentialized basketball players of the last 100 years. Or at least since Bill Russell. Since
Kuzi. Okay, since Russell.
All right.
Yeah.
Both of them. Again, totally.
This is 100% correct. It's a funny take that's also 100% true.
And they have been just lavished with all NBA awards, all-star appearances when they didn't deserve them at all. And then you have people saying, well, they're just not going to reward this guy because he's a Celtic. Like the Boston lobby is relentless. This is Ainge Pack striking again.
Well, they also just like have practice doing this. You know, it's like what they did was just copy and paste the Julian Edelman playbook onto. He's like, you know, what if this guy who like totally benefits from being in a system and with one of the greatest players ever. What if he's also great? And what if you don't say that he is, you're a monster. Did you guys see Jaylen Brown on? By the way, he's a Twitch streamer. He's a streaming now.
Is he
He
on
was on
Twitch?
some. He was on some stream being like, all you got to do is keep that same energy. First of all, Jaylen Brown, you're a contributor to N+1. You don't even talk like that. I've
Damn.
seen you at Harvard. You don't even talk like that. Keep that same energy. Everybody said we were gonna tank. We're gonna do that. Now we're third in the East. Just remember that when you talk about me. All he's done is spread Beijing hair paint
Wow.
like a
That's
virus.
the mark of a champion, Vin. That's a mark of a champion.
The mark of all he's done is make brushstrokes on people's jerseys and shoot all the time. And now he thinks he's fucking Michael Jordan. It's enraging. It's enraging.
But when you want to look inside the mentality of the little green hand, you need look only further than Bill Simmons' list of the most rewatchable movies of all time. And he had The Town and Departed at 4 and 5. And I was like, I can't even be mad. That's just a great bit. Like,
it's just really funny.
That's really good, you know?
I mean, this is when I look at like New York media, LA media, even Philadelphia media. I mean, like, come on, do we have the dog that the BMM, the Boston Media Mafia, have? Like, let's pull up our bootstraps and like get to work. Gaslighting every fan, right? It's just like, and respect to Paul Pierce. Like,
question mark, yes.
There's been chatter that his stabbing incident like changed him forever. He was kind of never the same because of anxiety, and that caused his alcoholism. And I don't want to make too many assumptions, but he is a deeply wounded man. We always talk about he walked himself to the emergency room and he played a few days later. I've heard chatter that he was never the same psychologically.
And I can believe that. Yeah.
When he gets on his talk shows and is incredibly entertaining and likable and is in his sunglasses, maybe had something to drink, and he's just like, no one respects Jaylen Brown because he's a Boston Celtics and all you guys do is hate on us. Fair, but like Donald Trump is not allowed to be like, you guys talk bad of me. Like, that's not the way we do things. This is why I'm punishing you. Bad is not good. Poor people are not rich. Scientists are not dumb. Like, opposite world has to end.
Right.
But the BMM is impressive, though. They really are, because, and we talked about this in our book a little bit. Sports journalism is essentially the only output from Boston and its region outside of like academia. I mean, there may be other industries in there, but that's mainly it. And they are phenomenal at it. You look at basketball writers, like literally half to 3/4 of the most prominent basketball writers are just Celtics fans. And part of this is the insular nature of that, where a few kingmakers keep elevating people who, because of their Celtics fandom, we know how this works and how this has happened. They're still, as you said, really, really good at this in a way that the New York media is not. The New York media, yay, Brunson, you're not even doing this right.
You don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. We need like 50% more resentment. And like, you don't even, nobody likes him. Everybody's all, you need to like, the denigration of parallel rivals. If you see what the BMM has done to Patrick Mahomes, unreal, all because they want to maintain the eminence of Tom Brady. They're doing missions. They're putting rival players in Nike Tech and hauling them to an undisclosed bunker and fucking Harvard Yard. They have no scruples. And,
I mean, what they did when they came into Barclays, they zip tied Joe Tsai, put Kanye shutter shades on him, and made him disband his team when I think they'd won 19 of 21 games or something like that, and they tore it apart. That was the little fingers.
It was an operation.
Of the green hand.
like attracting the gaze of the Boston media mafia is terrifying, right? Like whether that be through a potential threat to the Celtics, like winning a championship, or the potential threat, Vincent, to your point of the mythology compromising something they've built
Yeah.
steadily in Tom Brady or Paul Pierce or all these players, because somehow Kyrie Irving, same person. I follow him on social media. He's never changed that much. He's always had the same life point of view, but was a scourge to our society in Brooklyn. But it's fine in Dallas. Just let him do his thing, you know?
Wilt Chamberlain,
Um,
huge loser, just an
yeah,
enormous loser. That guy,
write a
Wilt.
book about it. The
As
theme
everybody
of Bill's
knows.
book. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody knows he's a loser. Yeah. But I will say that they've done, as we know, like a fighting force and an intelligence operation on par with only really the CIA. And yet, if they succeed in turning Jaylen Brown into like fucking Havlicek, it will be one of their greatest feats. We have to like.
Which is
There's never
which
been
is
a
amazing.
surlier, more replacement level. Like if they can turn him into, laurel him in the way that they seem to already be on the way to doing, that will be a Boston operation for the ages.
And
There's
they've
a
done
Tea
this.
Party, and then
They've
there's
done this with
Operation Jaylen Brown.
Tatum already, and they're just
Yeah,
doing it again.
but this would be, more because Jaylen Brown is worse at basketball and less likable than Jason Tatum. So it's like it. I mean, it's just like a really big deal what they've done. Tatum, like at the end of the day, he seems like a sweet kid who loves his family, and I'm Jaylen Brown. I'm sure he's a nice guy in real life, but his presence in the media is not. It leaves a lot to be desired. And so, if we can get like he would be great, but for his haters thing really going with him, that would be insane.
Is
Yeah.
Missoula a lock for Coach of the Year due to the influence of the BMM? Like, can we just lock it in the same way we could lock in Peyton Pritchard winning sixth man last year? Even though it should have been our guy, the gambler, from Detroit. He deserved it.
Yeah.
The other super cool bees. Now, in retrospect, maybe it's good that the league did not give it to someone who is potentially throwing games.
Yeah.
I'll acknowledge this.
And if
Yeah.
I can go into snitch mode for a second, the
Please.
Eastern Conference Player of the Month in December, I think a lot of people, little green people, have been posting stats and being like, Jaylen Brown edges him on a lot, but we're going to leave out turnovers. I believe Jaylen Brown was 5-4 assist to turnover ratio, and I believe Jalen Brunson was like 7 to 2.65 or something. And someone posted like Francesco Semprucci. I'm reading MVP posts and discourses for a player who is number 21 in DPM, number 32 in EPM, number 15 in BPM, with a negative 2.7 on off. Like, I've gotten into jazz recently, like really into jazz, because I'm trying to like find music to play in my house that is like
Yeah.
lovely, but not about lyrics and conjures pop anything. So I've been listening to jazz, and I'm Chinese and I'm new to this thing ish. I have all these records. And I'm a casual. I'm like, I'll put on Blue Train, Miles
Mm-hmm.
Davis, Thelonious Monk. Gorgeous, gorgeous music. But I know I'm a casual. And so I'm like, I would like to listen to a lot of jazz music. And I would like to listen to the best jazz music that's been declared, but gate kept. If a
Stan.
basketball fan wants to watch basketball, do you just start with the Boston Celtics? Like, are we in a green room, a padded green room?
I do think like when the casual closes their eyes, it's still like Celtics Lakers, and it's like 1987. I think you
Yes.
might like they've got an imaginative head start on the rest of us. They're the Cowboys of whatever it is that we're playing in right now.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, I did not know how insane these on-off numbers were for Jaylen Brown.
Snitch on him.
I'm snitching.
Mitch.
Out of the Celtics who have played a bunch of minutes in terms of like their plus minus on-off differential, he would be 10th on the team. They are 6 points per 100 possessions worse with him, and essentially only Josh Minot out of the players who get actual minutes, Minot, who's slightly worse than him. They're the only two. They're by far the most harmful to their team in terms of the Celtics rotational players. Their defense essentially falls off a cliff whenever he steps on the court. So all that to say,
Missoula maybe should be coach of the year because the system works, right? Like Derek White, you're the next man up. Peyton Pritchard, you can do this.
But that is crazy. They are lionizing and pushing an MVP candidate who makes his team substantially worse every time he touches grass on the hardwood.
Ben, you're missing the point. Don't you see him dribble, cross dribble, step forward, step back, shoot? That's what basketball is. I don't know what you snitches think, the sport we're watching is, but it's about dribble, move over, dribble, shoot.
Stop snitching on his left hand.
Yeah.
Well, like he's delightful because the off court stuff, like Giannis is a character we know well, but so is Jaylen Brown, and they're two different things because I think Giannis speaks to a lot of like Bible adjacent religious things like hard work, being a good teammate, even though he doesn't really show that in his work life, perhaps. And Jaylen Brown, like, wants to be an intellectual. He's a scientist, right? Like he is cut off from religion. He is empirical. He wants to be a truth teller and a lie slayer. And he wants his credentials, being a guest lecturer at institutions of high value and of higher learning. And he wants to be respected as a teacher among students. And it is awesome because the things he says and the things he does on the court, like, don't necessarily prove any of that.
But I don't know if he's caught off from religion. It's maybe not the traditional Christianity. But I mean, we've seen his buddies with like the tunics and the unks and like the whole ensemble.
Yes.
When he saw the guys outside of Barclays in like the purple and yellow, like the Lakers fits, and was like, this is the energy we need. And people were like, oh, wait, these guys are? He's like, oh, I had no idea who they were. No, I'm not. I thought they were.
I thought it was my fraternity.
Members of a fraternity. Like, no, you didn't.
Never heard of them, Yeah. But much
coincidentally, wears number 7 when he just happened to pick number 7 for his uniform.
Yeah. But much like the sort of formal qualities of don't you know what basketball is? Right hand dribble to the shot. Don't you know what protest is? It's a bunch of guys yelling outside. I don't care what they believe.
Yeah.
I don't care. And if you tell me what they believe, hello, you're a snitch. Don't tell me.
Wow. Yes. Maybe he is indeed on a higher moral ground because he is no snitch. He's like, I just saw a bunch of fans maybe dressed up in the wonderful colors of my fraternity. What protests do you speak of? That's pretty good.
He was caught snitching on the sideline that time when he told his girlfriend that LeBron James Jr. was not a professional basketball player. That was snitching. And he was duly punished. I don't think he can talk to LeBron James anymore. So
yeah.
So
you're right. There's that clip of LeBron sort of giving him the cold shoulder, or at least the most cursory greetings. Everyone else got hugs and pounds and curated handshakes, and Jaylen Brown got like a little like the look away, like hey, looking the other direction, already moving on to a big bear hug with Jokic down the line.
My son is no GOAT passer, all-time leading scorer in the NBA, but if someone says something bad about him, I'm not talking to you either, man. Jaylen Brown, come on, dude. There's rules to this.
Yeah.
If you besmirch Baby Quo's defense, even as a help defender, Quo will be on that neck.
It's over.
I can see he's not a good man on ball defender, but if you say it to my face, I'm going to give you the cold shoulder. I'm not
I'm
shoveling your
gonna
sidewalk.
I'm gonna run up on you on the sideline. I'm gonna make a whole news cycle about it. It's
That's
gonna
right.
be rough.
That's right. Have you guys another aside? Have you guys seen Rich Paul's sports show with Max Kellerman?
I have seen some elongated clips from it. He's already had like two arguments about why LeBron is at least as good as Michael Jordan, which like is not what I want to see. Um, so first of all, from Max Kellerman, who I think is actually pretty talented, and also like I, I have seen some of it. I think that Rich Paul um has some work to do on his like sort of media presence, but shout out to him. Like he just like has a knack for being around, being in the right spot. I have no doubt that he'll learn to be serviceable at it.
I hope so. I constantly wonder what he's good at. You know, like obviously he's an immensely successful power player in the NBA and sports,
Yes.
through his own hard work and through his association with the GOAT. But he got stuck in my mind twice because he talked about why Ben Simmons didn't work out and why Cam Reddish didn't work out.
He didn't have that
And
dog.
it was crazy. Like, I agree. Kellerman is a talented analyst and a gifted personality. I think he's really smart and insightful. I love his boxing ideas. I like his sports ideas. A bit of an old fashioned head. And Rich Paul is a new guy, and they're teamed up to talk the truth about the sports world. And he was like, Ben Simmons, his former client, was like, the reason he didn't work out is because it got in his head and he didn't want it enough. And when you don't want it enough, you're not going to be successful in this world. The reason why Cam Reddish didn't work out is because he didn't have success right away and he lacked confidence and he didn't want it enough. And when you don't want it enough, you're not successful in this world. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I think when you look at the amount of non-snitches, as in non-members of the media, who try to join the ranks of the snitches, and someone like a former NBA player or an agent or as you said, a mover and shaker in the world of NBA salary cap and NBA roster construction and all those kind of things. It's like, we don't get to just get in the NBA. It's not like, okay, Vincent, Dietrich, Quo, you guys you're going to get some time. You're also going to get a couple of clients if you'd like them. You can have a couple of guys that, you'll be an agent for them and you can negotiate their max deals too. It's like, let us be the snitches. You're good at other stuff. We're the ones who are good at being tattletales. Stay out of our lane. We're here to squeal.
Your lane. Yeah. Stick to snitching.
Yeah. But it's interesting though, like, first of all, yes, like obviously like snitching takes so many hours in the gym and nobody really talks about it. But also
it's about telling on people that when the cameras are off, it's like the unseen hours of just tattling relentlessly.
Snitching. Like I do 1,000 snitches a day every morning just because I know that Pablo Torre is doing 2,000 snitches. And so like, it's like, if I don't keep up,
there's always
going to
someone
show up on the court
more than you.
Yeah. I want to stool pigeon 1% better every day.
One day I was in the Olympics with Ben Dietrich, and like when I went downstairs in the elevator to go to the gym, he was already. I was coming back home from the club. Ben Dietrich was already suited up to go snitch, and it's like the question is like, are you willing to work? Like what?
Yeah.
You guys will probably end this podcast and just whatever, go get lunch. I'm actually snitching after this. You can catch me snitching even post pod.
You guys don't know this. I never told anyone this, but back before I was a better snitch than I am now, Kobe Bryant texted me and he was like, I challenge you to be a better snitch. And my snitching life changed after that. I was like, the mama of snitching tells me to snitch harder. Who's to say?
You text him, I got this.
I got this. Thinking about you.
Thank you. Thinking about you, baby. Thank you, Kobe. at the Cookies facility, it's just like me and the janitors flicking the lights on, you know,
Once upon a time,
working up
there
a
were
sweat.
better snitches than you in these sacred halls. You can hear the
I'll be out
squeaking.
there. Yeah, I'll be singing with laryngitis, man. I'll do it. I'll do whatever it takes.
We're gonna raise
Those banners up there, they're bigger than you, man.
Snitch 1990.
I'm just pointing at them all day.
99,
Yeah.
It was that banner. It was that banner.
Every time you approach these mics, you're snitching for them. You know what I mean?
Right.
It is listening to him though is like a really good. It's almost like understanding better why LeBron James thinks he's good. It's like somebody that's amazing and incredible can also just not know why they're good. LeBron thinks that he just like wanted it more. And like he's a very hard worker. But in so doing, he just like weirdly this attitude like discounts everything else. Like, no, that's not why
Yeah.
the potentially greatest player of all time, Ben Simmons, didn't work out. It was a lot of things, and a lot of those things were Doc Rivers' fault. And it wasn't
And a lot of those things were spinal surgeries. But that idea that you're mentioning about these guys who have made it to the top, and they say, well, I did it because of hard work. This is under the umbrella of Jordan originalism. It goes into the Kobe Mamba mentality, where it doesn't take into account all of those guys who worked and failed. That's, I think, my main problem with it is that someone out there and like, I worked on this as hard as I possibly could, but I wasn't good enough. I wasn't fast enough. I wasn't strong enough. I wasn't tall enough. I just couldn't do it. I guess I didn't work hard enough. It's like, that's just not true. Like, it's just not true. You weren't good enough. It wasn't about effort. It was about who you were was not good enough. But that's not a great message for the people.
Coach, I got to the rim and I ran out of my snitching ability, right? And, and this is like the easiest way to talk about anything on earth is like, you succeeded, you worked hard. You didn't succeed, you must not have worked hard enough, right? And like, I think about this music journey that I'm on, discovering something new in my life, a whole world of it that has like a ceiling, I think. And these generalizations help me. It's like, well, these Blue Note artists must be the best because this is a legendary label. So I need to devour everything here. And, you know, the Bible adjacent stuff I speak of is like the idea of hard work. You know, it's like, well, Miles Davis was the best because he was a hard worker. It's like, oh, wait, his biography says something else. It's like, Coltrane, he was the best because he was a hard worker. It's like, oh, his biography is fascinating and complicated. And when we talk about art, I think we kind of can dispel these correlations easier. But in sports, it's delightful, right? It's a one-to-one kind of interaction.
Right. Yeah. Well, like if, for example, the moment you flip off your Twitch stream, which is like has a background full of like ambient green lights, literally, if you're not on the way to the plus minus factory right after that,
Yeah.
why would you think that you could get on the court with Jaylen Brown? Like the thing is, like, why would you imagine that you and he deserve to share the same space? But yeah, I mean, like obviously repetition, work, effort is a part of sports. To your point, like in a way that we don't think of like Miles Davis, like lifting his trumpet over and over,
Right.
in the shed, etc. But so yeah, there is it's harder maybe to slice the differences between like and of course we're all squeamish about talking about things like like genetics, etc. Like it's a thing that we don't want to say, like
Yeah. As a 5'5" Asian, I never think about that. But
But
yeah,
that's the thing with Kobe, though, right? Is that there's no doubt that Kobe was a psycho and he did work really hard. These things can be true. He was also one of the most like high profile prospects in history at age 17. How much work did he put in between like 13 and 14 to get to that spot. It's like, well, probably not that much because he was a child. He was already in the dunk contest at 18. He was doing 360s. He was already doing this stuff before the hard work even kicked in.
Yeah.
But not to make this like a snitchception scenario, but like when someone rumbles down their stairs and sees me shoveling snow and they're like, yo, Brunson's better because he wants it more. I have to pause and be like, maybe you're right. You know, like Cooper Flagg's scouting report was like, he's good at a lot of stuff, but like this dude is tenacious. Like that's one of his characteristics. Whereas his competitors don't seem to have that dog, you know, whatever we want to call it. So when a quote unquote casual, which I'm constantly myself, is saying that SGA just wants it more, I have to pause and be like, maybe he does.
I think a good comparison to this is Brunson and say Kyrie, because I don't think from a skill level anyone would say that Brunson is more skillful than Kyrie. I don't think so. Kyrie is about as gifted as any player has ever been in history in terms of just shot making, ball handling, footwork.
Yeah.
But also, he isn't someone that you can hand the ball to and say, we're just going to need you to put up 35 a game for the next 2 months and win us games. But Brunson can do that.
That's right. You goddamn right.
I don't know. And I don't have a good reason why. Like, why is that? Is it just that he's like, I will shoulder that burden. I will not be passive. I will not be a facilitator today. I am Jalen Brunson. I am the engine of this struggling Knicks team.
I mean, I hate to be that guy, but that debate about Eastern Conference Player of the Month comes down to Brunson's a motherfucking dog, right? Like you watch him and you're like, he is the player of the month. God damn, those shots were fucking crazy.
This is Quo outside shoveling. They're like, look at this guy. He's like, I'm a dog.
He was. Like, you can compare stats all you want, you snitches, but like I watched the games and Brunson, like, he's
Andrew, do they even watch the games? Do they even watch?
That's the thing. Are you seeing this stuff?
Yeah. So, but then what's going wrong? They lost against the damn Sixers, man. What's happening?
And the defense is not good.
No, to me, the Sixers are pretty good. They are not a very good team. They're pretty good. They are.
Although with Embiid, with Paul George, like that team is not bad, man.
No, I don't think they're a bad team. I don't think they're a bad team. I think they are. When they've had their injuries on and off, they're basically a 500 team since their hot start. But they are certainly better when Embiid plays, when Paul George plays, and when they have a more full rotation. They're pretty good. I don't think they are a contender in the East unless we saw VJ take like another leap or Embiid reclaim his health, which I have not seen evidence is going to occur. But they're pretty good. That was a good win for Philly. They beat a Knicks team that was without heart, but that was on a back-to-back. But that was still I mean, that's back-to-back wins for Philly over the Knicks, who I don't think are a better team.
Before Christmas. Before Christmas, they beat them too, right?
Yeah, and as you said, they're just not a great matchup because of the guard speed and Embiid. He is foul baiting and rage baiting against the Knicks in a way that is kind of delightful. And
it's so
annoying. They would howl, and then they'd show the replay and be like, all right, I guess they got him on the hand there. Okay, that's fine. And it just kept happening. It was just like the garden would seethe and foam, and then they'd do the replay and be like, well, yeah, I mean, that is a foul.
But why is he acting like that, though, is the problem. But why is he acting like that? I do enjoy I enjoy the nature of the rivalry between I think it's been like 3 years now where you could really call I mean, obviously, like it has a prehistory in the sort of the Plummer era, but the Knicks and the Sixers really are kind of like there is this really earned antipathy that I enjoy, like and I think it is a bad matchup right now for the Knicks, and it highlights a big weakness this season, which has been defense. And I will say, like, I love Jalen Brunson, but he does a lot of what our man Clyde calls Matador defense. And at the end of the game, he was like, "People got to back other people up." It's like, dude, no, you have to not get blown by every time. So there are notes, but I wouldn't call the Knicks struggling. I would call them weird, like uh, uneven high achievers this year. Because before they lost these 3 games in a row. By the way, bad matchup. They should not have lost to the Hawks. And the Spurs are legitimately good. So like, and we played them a lot recently. So like those 3, I'm not totally mad at the stretch. But I think we won 3 before that. So it's just it's this weird back and forth. At the beginning, I was not happy. Beginning of the season, I just thought they weren't really responding, and Carl Towns looked like a little sulky. And then there was a nice long stretch. But now, I don't know. I don't know, man.
I
I
mean,
do
and
like this Knicks.
tonight you go up against B-ball Paul and the Detroit Pistons, so another matchup of epic proportions.
Yeah, I don't know if regression to the mean is popular or unpopular right now, but I feel like to Vincent's point, they were riding high, and a few losses were probably coming because their defensive rating shows that they're not like an apex team and they're beatable. Brunson's dude, who has his help defense, Josh Hart, hurt. Um, Brunson's lack of defensive uh, presence is going to be an issue in the playoffs as it was against Indiana.
Yeah.
So I think that is a desperate need for them. Tyler Kolek emerging as a very usable, wonderful, delightful basketball player is interesting, right? Because there's McBride there. You have 3 very small guards, and it's hard to play 2 of them against a bigger team. Like Kate Cunningham is large, and
Yeah.
they're probably on the same tier, him and Brunson, but Cade probably can manipulate his offensive game over Brunson in ways that Brunson probably has to work overtime in the gym, snitching against the Pistons.
Mm-hmm.
Or even if they're equivalents on offense, one is not 6 feet tall, the other he's 6'7" on defense. Like it just gives you an edge on rebounding. It gives you an edge on playing team defense, etc. Unless you're a liability in that case, which Cade is not, in my opinion.
Underdog mentality is awesome, but then we have to realize it's because they're underdog. And when
Yeah.
they get beat by better players or teams, it's like, well, that's the whole underdog thing. It's like, yeah, he's small and this team has problems.
It's an interesting, yeah, mild problems, and it's an interesting since the cat era has begun. Um, it's just a team of people with like vast talent, but also considerable flaws. And it's an interesting, like guys who you could say are in the top, whatever, 10, 15, 20, but also just have really glaring issues. Like, I don't want to watch Cat foul out anymore. I don't want to see that. There are things about it that I'm like, I love this team. And part of the experience of loving it is seeing it be kind of like really a night to night proposition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Andrew and I have talked quite a bit about the sort of lingering problem with this group is that they don't necessarily have a secondary playmaker. And without Hart, that's even more glaring because Hart
Hmm.
can fill that role as a guy who doesn't really look to score less than he is a great passer. He is an extremely willing and unselfish passer who gets the team out in transition, and he's looking for his teammates. He's not, a maestro or a basketball genius, but he is trying to make that happen. And I think we've seen when you have him inserted in there, all of a sudden Cat now can make some nice passes, and there's just a little more of an ecosystem. But when Hart's out of there, and Colette can help in that regard, but Deuce doesn't really pass like that. Brunson's a scorer, Cat's a scorer, Bridges is a scorer, OG's a scorer, or at least on the offensive, Clarkson's a scorer. When on the hierarchy of like what they are best at, it's not facilitation.
It's scoring. Yeah. There's a lot of, and I love OG and I love the experience, as the little Clarkson minutes, but they're very like they're very vertical play. And like the other thing Hart does is that, in a sort of Ginobili way, he's not, as you say, he's not a basketball genius, but he notices where there are like opportunities to like move diagonally or kind of run under the basket and come out in that like sort of Steve Nash way. Like he just kind of sees the floor in sees more angles, whereas OG is very vertical lines. And Kolek, to your point, has hints of basketball brilliance, but again, small guy, um, sort of limited in like just by his physicality, whatever. You're right. There needs to be a little bit more vision on the team, and when they're playing really well, it can seem really fun because Cat does get into that mode of like he's doing the Magic Johnson he passes. He's like looking away when he doesn't need to. Yeah, and it can get really fun. But I don't think there's like an consistent. Um, in the playoffs, they get very dribble, and so I don't know. I love this team now. I just love
There's
them.
the
We know them now. It's great.
for Philly and the Knicks and virtually any team. I always just go back to my solution: Kyle Anderson. He's on Utah. He's barely playing. Just get Kyle Anderson over there. He's a power forward who can pass. Just throw one of those guys in the mix, or Nick Batum if the Clippers are not going to be a
Too
playoff team.
old, too slow, right? Like
No, neither one is good, but they're tall guys who can pass the ball and sort of shoot. That's
I'm
always just
told
my
what Brooke
solution.
Lopez
Tall
shares. It's like
passer.
it's been
Yeah.
few years since like the relevance of Kyle Anderson because he's like too slow motion. He's not twice as slow. He's 4 times as slow.
Yeah.
But I agree. Like these glue guys, and the Knicks have a wonderful build, right? OG and McHale are multitasking Swiss Army knives.
Yes.
And you do not abandon a player like Brunson with his flaws, and you do not abandon a player like Cat with his flaws. At some point, the Knicks have to get very greedy and try to either flip one of these guys for a more universally useful one or add stuff to the margins. And like I'm obsessed with Diabate. I'm obsessed with like uh Chris Dunn as like a taller defender and a passer who doesn't necessarily shoot. Like it would hurt my New York Knicks soul to trade away Deuce or Kolek, but maybe I just have that fan dog and something has to happen because this team is wonderful and lovable and beatable.
And that is a little bit the story of the Eastern Conference. Like everything that we've said is true, and they could still make the finals. Kind of
Yeah.
like not even like knock on wood or whatever, but like kind of easily they could make the finals. Every team
They
is
might
like
win it all.
deeply.
Yeah.
They could, listen, if the Spurs are actually experiencing an advantage over the Thunder, we could face the Spurs and beat them. It's possible. I don't want to talk about it, but I think you're right. I think we've lost on a purely fan perspective. We've traded away a lot of like exciting fan favorite guards. I'm thinking about quickly, etc. So I think we have to keep Deuce. I think we have to keep Deuce.
Is
And
he playable against Indiana or Detroit in a 7-game series?
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
Deuce
in for 15 minutes,
can
yeah.
really shoot too. He can really
Yeah.
shoot.
Yeah.
But Detroit has tall defenders.
Beautiful jumper.
Guarded
gets
by
high
one
off
of the
the ground,
Thompson
that guy.
twins and Cade. Like they have perimeter size, right? And that's why I asked specifically about Detroit. We won't find out much tonight or tomorrow when they play, but the Knicks run into personnel issues. How Vincent started the analysis, the snitching. It's like they're against certain matchups, like the Sixers, they're vulnerable in a way they're not against like Orlando.
Right.
Anthony Black. Shout out to Anthony Black. Ooh.
Yeah. The player types that I'm jealous of, and I want one day to don the orange and blue, are I want me a Thompson twin. And speaking of big guys who can pass, how about that? How about that Derek Queen? I love that kid.
You're just like poaching like these future all stars from
I know.
struggling teams.
I'm just saying names, but these are the player types that I feel like contribute to like a creativity and a looseness. Sometimes I don't see like a fluidity with the Knicks. Sometimes like a sort of ability to improvise and like there are these types that I think would just open things up. But yeah, of course, like I would like Armin Thompson is not a, it's it's not a good enough snitching for me as analysis, but it is true though.
I mean, Derek Queen, I have to stick my guns with Derek Queen just because I sold kind of shares of him during the draft. He is wonderful.
Mm,
He's awesome. He is a
he's so
fluid, as
good.
you say, player. But a passing big is huge, but not necessarily to me, personally, as valuable as a spacing big. And the Knicks probably have one of the better, if not the best, spacing big in the league. Queen doesn't really command much gravity out on the perimeter,
Hmm.
and with the usage he's getting in New Orleans, respect, he is awesome. Like I'm
Right.
excited about his introduction to the NBA pool. But on the Knicks, I don't know. Like, do you play Brunson off ball and have Queen start actions because he doesn't really draw players out from the paint?
Yeah, that's true.
Great
I mean,
player.
this is true. I mean, we're also talking down the line, right? Like, I mean, I just think there's no way to put Queen
Of course.
on this current incarnation of the Knicks team. The Pelicans have
I
given
thought
up
so.
the farm for him.
My
He's
favorite
a
movie is The
Pelican
Town.
lifer over there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
He's
no, yeah.
untouchable in Joe Dumars' two phones.
This season, I do think that the Knicks are going to have to go the Rich Paul route and just like find that dog. Unfortunately, like I don't know that there's a trade, a transaction that fits the bill that puts them in the league of the top teams in the West. I don't think that that's
Not
out
with
there.
the apron. Yeah. But
Yeah.
like I'm fine with trading Brunson or Cat. I have no allegiances to Brunson's father or a Catholic school in Pennsylvania. Like, fuck if I care about Villanova, right?
Villanova.
I love Brunson though. But if I would love another star who was great. There of the players that we know of as available, we're talking big time guys like Giannis, Ja. Like, there's rumors that Trey Young. There's rumors that they're gettable.
I
I
don't
don't
want
think.
any of those gentlemen. I don't want a single one of those gentlemen.
Respect to them, who are great. They're great players, but
Out to them. No, thank you.
yeah, and like even Michael Porter Jr., right? Who the Nets? He's so good, the Nets are flipping him. Like, whoever will offer us anything for this diamond we got from a pile
Maybe,
of coal.
maybe. So my understanding from talking to our guys
You
within the
got
Nets
insider shit.
Oh, you're
is that
snitching. Okay, go ahead.
is that there's a lot
Snitch.
of internal talk about what do we do here? Is he good enough that we just make him one of our pieces going forward and we're just going to be in the Michael Porter Jr. business? He's going to be our star. He's going to put up 26 efficiently. Maybe we keep him. And then there's other people saying, well, is it just the minimum Detroit that you trade him there, flip the Tobias Harris contract or something, get a late first round pick and be done with it? Like those, like, is there a medium here where we hold on to him and hope to get more later on, or maybe focus on him, or we try to get multiple first round picks, or do you just take one from Detroit? Because that would be a very obvious place. You could just swap around some salary, take a draft pick from them. Maybe if you're lucky, get a Ron Holland, but probably not, and
Yeah.
call it a day.
I don't see what the argument for. I mean, keeping him is one thing, which it seems to me distinct from focusing on him. If you want to focus on him, then what you're saying is, I would like to be Charlotte, and I don't see why you would want that. But like, we've already seen exactly how you can prosper with him on your team, which is for him to be the third or fourth best guy on your team. Like, if your next move is to go and get Jokic, then great. But otherwise, like, I mean, he can't be the best player on your team because he um, is a I think I've heard on this podcast a piece of terminology that has stayed with me for a long time. He's a prom king. Like that is
Yeah.
what he is.
Good looking.
And like every time I see him, I just see that boutonniere and a cummerbund, glossy tie, and
Yeah.
shiny shoes. He's
A
not.
DUI. Yeah.
And also
the limousine and the tiara. Yeah, it's all there.
An Uber.
The sash.
and he also like spends a lot of time on podcasts talking about like manosphere topics. I just think that he's not the guy to sort of step into the new the new era with. But I don't.
They need,
I can't really see the argument.
Nets can't build around someone who is this focused on $200 first dates and body counts.
Yeah.
Or can they? Like I
Yeah.
love this internal dilemma, and I love that it's coming from the Nets because whatever we've gone through the process, trust the process, right? It's become a lexicon everyone uses for everything. Project 2025. It's like, what is Trump doing? Like, stick to the plan. Do not get distracted by shiny things. The way to success is follow the blueprint. And in life, I think that is a malleable idea. It's a living idea. But with the Nets team build, it's like, do not get distracted by the shiny thing. This shiny thing is indeed bright, but you will not get more of these if you keep this one thing. You
I
have
know
to stick to
that I know that tin foil is glinting in the sun, but Joe Tsai, you are not a crow. You are a human. You are not a raven.
Did we
Yeah.
find a player that no one else saw? Is Michael
Yeah.
Porter Jr. like a net? Can we build around
Yeah.
Porter? No, stick to the plan. Trade him
I
for
know
a
that's a shard
conditional
of
number
broken
one.
glass, but I am a grackle.
There's this guy Jordan Poole that I think like no one else realizes might be a star. Should we re-sign Cam Thomas? Like
Yeah.
if they were going to add Michael Porter Jr. in the presence of Cam Thomas and then stick with Michael Porter Jr., this is a way not to become a trillionaire.
Yeah. It's 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 a it's a classic bit of misdirection. You can't think twice about it.
Yes.
You
It hurts.
gotta you gotta move him, and we'll miss the. I mean, some when he gathers that huge frame up into a perfectly vertical jump shot. I mean, it looks good. That's the thing. We've all seen enough basketball to be like, oh, that looks great, and like only a couple people can look like that on a basketball court. And it's the siren calling Odysseus. You have to lash yourself to the mast of the ship and not allow your fellow shipmates to let you jump into the water. That's what you have to do because it is a siren song. I'm not discounting that at all, but you have to not do it.
Do not crash on the rocks of Sunset Park in the practice facility.
Although he has not been given his chance yet though, because he has not entered New York City culture like I wanted him to. Where's the nightlife stuff? Is he dating like a famous New York person? Come on, Michael.
Yeah.
Does Michael Porter Jr. want to snitch enough? Like he has been an astounding success on the basketball court, but a disappointment off of it.
Was he definitely has like kind of in the way that I also associate with uh, my sworn enemy Tyrese Halliburton. Like he does have a suburban kid vibe. He doesn't seem like a guy that you would see, riding the rails of the NR and finding his way to the practice facility in Sunset Park. He looks like he gets brought there by his mom
Mhm.
in an SUV, and like there's just a certain je ne sais quoi that doesn't really comport with the. But also, like the Nets feel that way too. So what am I saying? I don't know.
Totally unlike the Knicks, who are subway surfing their way to MSG.
No, yeah, the Knicks are like. Have you guys talked on this podcast about the after the cup after the sparkling cup victory? Josh Hart sticking giving his
Oh,
buddy
thumbs
Jalen
up.
the
Oh
old
yeah, we didn't
thumb
talk
up
about
the
that.
butt.
Andrew said it was too offensive to him to discuss on the pod.
That is I'm not trying to get this pod in trouble here, so maybe we have to like preface it by saying there's some unwanted bodily humor to be debated here. But
Yeah.
Josh Hart put his thumb in the direction of Jalen Brunson's butthole, and it shocked him. And they were very good friends. And Brunson knows that trick because they went to Catholic school together. And it was brought
Yeah.
up in a game interview. And I believe it has been a joke, but is it funny?
Is it? No one wants to touch is funny, Andrew. But it does expose like maybe one way to articulate the Knicks' strengths and flaws is that they like it really is just uh like college. It's college bromance stuff. It's homosocial hijinks in a way that like we all know and love, and I'm with. If Jalen Brunson is with it, if he's not, he
I
should
mean, that's
stop.
one of the
He should
reasons
snitch.
Andrew and I had to shift to going remote, just to remove that kind of
Keep
temptation
your
from the
thumb
cookies,
out
recording
of
dynamic.
here. Yeah. I
Cut
forget what
down on the
artist
whoopee cushion business. Yeah.
did this piece that was just like a text piece. It was like men will invent intricate rituals just to touch each other. And I'm like, yeah, it's nice to have a hug. It's nice to be arm in arm with your homie
Yeah.
during an Emirates Cup win for sure. But I think are the Knicks serious, right? Like, come on, guys, let's get serious about it. Act like we've been there and your thumb's been there.
I
Yeah.
mean, Josh Hart, give wedging that thumb up there and then looking off the other direction was great. It was great. I'm sorry. It may have been sexual assault, but that was funny.
Yeah, there's like very like laugh track material, just like when a guy really gets it. Anyway,
Well, like they roast each other on their snitch pod, and it feels at one point that they're not taking it seriously, but another, it's like chemistry. You cannot purchase chemistry unless it's like 6 number 1 draft picks, six first round draft picks. But the chemistry with this team is undeniable. Do vibes get them over the hump? And not to answer my own question, but I think Vincent's right. Anything can happen, and this is as good as chance as any in the East.
it's true. It's true. I'm excited to see the rest of it. These guys are none of them are nightlife Lotharios either. Carl Towns just got engaged. Shout out to him.
Oh yes, that's right. He proposed on the Empire State Building, maybe. I
He
forget.
was somewhere high. Yeah, it was somewhere up there. It was above ground level, and um, I'm wishing them well. Yes, I'm annoyed that they lost to the Sixers, but I think we're going to ride the ship tonight against Detroit.
So there was they may. So last topic I want to get into here. This was a few weeks back, or it could have been a couple months back. I think it was about Ja. That was the discussion of the day. And you had tweeted something about, we were in like the NBA's respectability politics era. And you tweeted something along those lines. And if I had looked it up and, wanted to get specific, I certainly could have. And as soon as you said that, I was like, Andrew, we gotta make sure we get Vincent on the pod, because I want him to talk about this era of respectability politics, because I think it ties into conversations we've had about the N1 era and what's missing from the culture today, and how that's juxtaposed against the undeniable high level basketball that we're seeing on a daily basis. So if you are combing frantically through your Twitter feed to try to figure out what you were talking about, or you can just get more into that. Yes. So what did you mean about the NBA's respectability politics era?
I was sort of joking and sort of being serious, which is, I guess the lingua franca of Twitter. The tweet that I was sort of quote tweeting said, people around the league, I think it was NBA Central tweet, people around the league believe Ja Morant, and just listen to this group of guys, Ja Morant, LaMelo Ball, and Trae Young all have quote unquote negative value, and wouldn't be surprised if they were traded for one another per ESPN. And then there are quotes from executives. I wouldn't want any of them. They all might have negative value, etc. Calling them sort of unwanted superstars. Now, here's the thing, and I think you could add a podcast snitcher named Michael Porter Jr. to this list, where it's true. I just told you that even including Giannis, I don't want any of these guys, right? Like I just told you I don't want them on my team. So like if you want to make me Tipper Gore, I'll be that too.
Leading purveyor of NBA respectability politics, Vinson Cunningham.
That's right. I'm a snitch and a respectability politician. But it's like on the one hand, I don't want them either, and you're probably correct about their value as superstars. But it's just funny that this figure of the troubled superstar, somebody who's abrasive, sometimes maybe even a little bit funny. I as a Knicks fan, I still remember losing to Atlanta in the playoffs. I guess that's 5 years ago now, 2021, I guess. And like the fuck Trey Young chance, I was in the Garden for Game 2 of that series. Like I don't like him, but wow, what a performer! What a kind of funny guy, you know. Um, and juxtapose that against right, um, the aforementioned Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. We could even throw Shea in there, who I think is cooler than he gets credit for. I think he's a very well dressed gentleman, but like generally sauceless, right? That something has changed from the ethical beginnings of the NBA, 1996. Allen Iverson, my favorite player of all time, Stephon Marbury, guys who would have been in this tweet at various points in their careers, still had like a cachet, like a cultural meaning that gained them respect beyond their various fanhoods. I'm sure there are kids in Charlotte with wacky Zoomer haircuts who love LaMelo Ball, and I sometimes see these kids in Brooklyn. But as a league wide narrative, like the BMM, the little crusty gnarled green hand has just like has pushed them all the way to the side and totally marginalized them, not only as players but as like as figures. I think Trey Young out of that group is probably the most like has the biggest gripe, because I do think he's a valuable basketball player, and he might not be the best player on a championship team, but he's up. Like he could be in the mix, you know. I think he never shot as well as everybody thought he shot, etc. But I'm just interested in the fact that like being kind of a goofball, kind of weird. John Morant yelling at at Klay Thompson, being like, "You're a bum." Um, I don't love it because I am again, you know, a crusty reactionary respectability politics advocate. But I just descriptively, just noticing, it's like there's not as much of a place for a lot of personality, um, does things differently, however you want to call it, and plays basketball less as a um, technocratic pursuit, but as a means of self-expression, and in LaMelo Ball's case, entertainment. It just seems like that has been downplayed in the current culture of the NBA. And question mark. It's interesting.
I mean, there was a good tweet, and I think it said, it's like YouTube and personal trainers have these white boys out here playing like Bones Highland. And I was like, so you're getting the sauce from the Con Knippel brood 5
Yeah.
times over, but you're
Yeah.
getting that Midwestern white boy who
Yeah.
has all that same handle and that same, not the same pizzazz or creativity, but you're getting it in like a different format.
Austin Reeves. This 10 years ago, 15 years ago, this was a thing. Like, where is the American white player? We got all these, you know, effete, Fey, Euro, you know, softies, slithering around physicality. But where are the Hoosiers at? You know what I mean? All of a sudden, here they are, and um, on the other hand, there are all these other guys that might have been taken more seriously in a prior era that they're like, no, thank you. We found our nipple. You can show.
I mean,
So
this was
it's just
literally
something.
said about Charlotte, right? They're like, the emergence of Con Knippel has made LaMelo Ball a vestigial organ of this Hornets rebuild.
Yeah.
Him and Kalkbrenner, right? Like these white guys, these Timmy fundamentals part 5. And I think, Vincent, when you mentioned names like Iverson and Trey Young being a performer and LaMelo Ball, it brings joy to my heart, right? Because I view these people as artists who do
Yeah.
something special within the confines of a league. And as soon as I think that, I think about how it relates to actual art and the sources of money and the sources of money informed by optimization, not to call back our previous conversation about data.
Yeah.
And these risks companies are willing and not willing to take. for the sake of art. And I think in previous iterations of our NBA fandom, we held the language of and one close. And a player like Allen Iverson getting taken number one was a no brainer, right? It's like he is a superstar. He's going to sell a
He's incredible.
million shoes, right? Like his value is off the court as well. And in our lifetime, we've seen that flip. And a lot of things happened. The internet, COVID, the stock market, money, information. The flattening of art is reflective in the flattening of the NBA personality.
That's a great way to say it. You know, there's a word um, that used to be said about basketball players all the time that was not necessarily about their connection to winning stats, whatever. And the word was nice. He's so fucking nice at
Yeah.
basketball. And what nice means, this also pertains to Kyrie Irving. Nice is not about the bottom line. Nice is, God damn, that was awesome. And LaMelo Ball, whatever you want to say about him, he's nice at basketball. You know, like look at that. Look at those drip. Look at that. These like, look at that pass to this shot. Like, wow.
One-footed threes. Yeah.
Yeah, that boy is nice.
Yeah.
And I just feel like and that's brushstrokes to your point. That's adornment. It is about a certain kind of expression that like might show up in the box score and might not. And like style is what we would call it. And I do think that it has been de-emphasized. I'm not saying this in a like a Barkley way. I'm not saying that the NBA isn't fun. I love watching the NBA. But even I like have been trained by like watching it very closely for a long time, trained to admire things that are novel, right? That are like were not necessarily a part of the structure of my enjoyment 20 years ago. And that's neither good nor bad, but it is an observation.
I was going to say, I do appreciate the Cookies Hoops pickup run group chat for carrying this torch for that boy nice, because no one ever talks about who won a game. I'm just looking at it right now. It's just like saucy. Here's a highlight. Filthy.
That's what I'm talking about. Filthy.
Awesome. VJ is so nice. That was what I said 2 days ago. We're keeping it alive over there. It's just highlights of Amon Thompson doing crazy finishes and people saying that's saucy. It's great. We've got this under control.
That's good.
Which has origins in rap music, right? Like the word nice. And
exactly.
I think the stripping of that culture from the NBA has been intentional, in my opinion, from the owners, from Silver, from people who write about it. It is like reclaiming culture in a way that is so visible, and it's easy for me to get seduced by wins and losses and everything, but I'm like, oh, we've lost something in the NBA in the last 20 years, and if we don't speak on it, it'll just evaporate.
Well, I think sometimes the generation who presided over the insertion of hip hop culture and Iverson and Jadakiss and that era of the early 2000s that included And One felt like they were the victors. It seemed like they were the victors at the time. This was undeniably part of culture. But maybe the NBA won after all. It felt like a cultural victory in the moment, and maybe it was actually a loss. And I don't even know if the group of people who were advocating for those things and taking pride in them at the time is now on the side of progressivism or reactionism at this point. I can't even tell.
Well, I mean, this goes back to the rhetoric, as you mentioned, of Rich Paul, right? It's like, didn't try hard. Like, you sound like a Republican. And I don't think that there is a greater symbolic representation of like at least like the attitude of the current NBA than Rich Paul. I mean, he really is like he's kind of like the Forrest Gump of the last, what is it now, 20 years of the NBA. Like he's this person's agent. He's LeBron's friend. Like he kind of is the zealot. And if he speaks like that, that's what matters. Like I don't care who wanted it. There were times that I watched Ben Simmons play basketball that made me more happy than whoever the fuck else you're talking about, unless it's LeBron James. Like, I enjoyed it because this guy had creativity and flair and did things that other people don't do. And like, I understand that that's not how you hoist the Larry O'Brien, but it matters for something. And so if that can be reduced to didn't want it enough, that is like an ethos that like repulses me. I don't want to hear that. And it's not, it has nothing to do with why I like basketball. You know, even people who are sort of dog approved, like Steph Curry, the reason I like him is because he does stuff that's extraneous to that, right? Like the way he does it, the how. And I think there's not enough emphasis like on the how. You know, I want to enjoy my Steph Curry and have a little bit of Jordan Poole hijinks on the side. You know, I want a little goofball. You know, and it just, I don't know. There's a kind of dismissive tone toward this dimension that I'm not with.
I agree with that, like almost word for word, because I look at the people who come out who are hyper polished from like the combo guard puppy mills, and it's just as not as exciting in the same
I don't want to
way
see it. Yeah.
as people who have a more intuitive approach to basketball that is just, for lack of a better word, more weird.
Yeah.
But then you want to win
this is-
games and like, oh, gee, please, your up and down game, save us.
Yeah, it's a conundrum. I mean, like from the beginning, I do think there are actual reasons why Jason Tatum is overrated. That is not about style. It's just about like you can see it on the court, whatever. But it's also just like his game and the way he speaks, and it's like, like he isn't. He, like watching him is like reading an email. It's like, okay, man, I know what you. I know. And like it's fine, and all the information has been communicated. So on a certain level, this is a great email, but I don't want to read it. And
Yeah.
and it's like he's like very much a product of that. It's like every dribble, it just looks. It's like I see the 5-star basketball camp where you learn that every time I look at it, and I'm not excited about that.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of mentioned the Knicks build as being corporate, or the Cooper flag culture, con knipple times 5, and it's like they read like press releases or like AI, right? It's like,
Yeah.
AI, can you describe a basketball player? It's like, here you go, Jason Tatum. It's like, oh, he got hurt. It's like, here you go, Jaylen Brown. And they are nice villains to have in the league, but our heroes, man, we're struggling. Like I agree with you. LaMelo Ball is tough to add on the team. Trae Young, probably not. Giannis is even a bit of a difficult conundrum. But we need better heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think part of it is not to make it all about, socioeconomics, but that plays a role here where it's like,
Of course, yeah.
if you have a level playing field, the people who are not only nice, but creative are the ones who are, siloed into being the best basketball players. But when you have a system where a lot comes down to, how stable is your household? Do you have someone who can pay for an AAU team? Do you have someone who can drive you to practice? Do you have someone who can get you that shooting coach? Do you have someone who can send you to shooting camp? And these advantages start adding up at an early age. And then they're the ones who get, shunted off into like the basketball playing versus the normie basketball. And that's a big deal. Like the kids who ended up going and playing AAU and doing stuff, they just exponentially get better than the ones who are on the playground, the ones who are practicing, playing church league and whatever. And I just think there's now more kids with economic advantages, like in every other part of American society, who end up going off into the lane that rewards people who are in that lane disproportionately compared to the people who are on like you're just a normal basketball guy path. You're not the one who's in the travel team. You're not the person who plays around the year and travels and does stuff. You just play at church. And I just think that's where you're getting the con knipples. They're on that team. All 5 of them are going to be on that team.
Yeah, they've got shooting sleeves. They've got gear. They've got the big duffel bag, you know, and you know, I try. I feel to speak like this makes me feel number one old and number two like reactionary and like I like to appreciate what's in front of me and I still watch an insane number of NBA basketball games. I mean, so whatever. But I just, you know, every once in a while you're reminded, like a phantom limb or something, like, oh, I used to like this thing that doesn't really happen that much anymore.
I used to like Steven Jackson getting into squabbles outside of a strip club. When will we get that back? See what we've lost?
Yeah, the goof troop. You know what I mean?
The Malice at the Palace changed everything. There was a meeting after that, and everything slowly changed.
Yeah.
Maybe cost the Pacers a title.
Yo, they were really fucking good. They were so good. They were good.
Yeah, and it's funny because like a lot of these guys that I like loved, even I'm thinking like not that long ago, like goddamn, I used to love to watch Boogie Cousins play basketball. Like a lot of these guys are now, paradoxically, podcast snitches.
You know who?
Paul Pierce, Boogie Cousins, Steven Jackson. They get on mics and they snitch now. And I just wonder if that just means that slowly, maybe they can do a snitch psyop and slowly turn the wheel back. I don't know.
Arenas, we need you. Gilbert, do your thing.
Gilbert's always like, this guy's not that good.
Always tune into for your weekly update on basketball tattles. The true
Vincent,
snitches.
Thank you. We need you back on as a Knicks guru.
I would love to be.
Thank you for coming on here. Author of Great Expectations, which you can find a signed copy somewhere, or you can go get it from Vincent himself.
I'll sign it.
along with your own podcast of snitching and your own playlist infused newsletter.
That's right.
Thank you for coming here. That was awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Cookies.
Crazy boy.
I love cookies. I love cookies. I love cookies. I love cookies.